So, what if I told you that centuries before Columbus ever set sail, there was a city right here in North America that was bigger than London at the time? We're diving into the incredible story of a lost metropolis in the American heartland, a place that reached incredible heights and then just vanished. Okay, so take a look at this. On the left, you see this quiet, grassy field in Illinois. That's what's there today. But on the right, well, that's what archaeologists think it used to look like. A massive, bustling city. This was Cahokia, a metropolis that was thriving for centuries and then was just empty. I mean, you really have to let that sink in. For a while, this was the biggest city north of Mexico. Yeah, bigger than London at the time. And then, poof, it became a ghost town. So the big question, the one that keeps archaeologists up at night, is why? Why did this incredible place just disappear? All right, so before we even get into the whodunit of its collapse, we really have to wrap our heads around just how huge and important this place was. The scale of Cahokia, honestly, it's just mind-boggling. Get this, at its peak, right around the year 1100, we're talking about a population of maybe 40,000 people. This wasn't just a big village, you know? This was a massive, sprawling urban center. A real deal city. And to put that 40,000 number in perspective, in the 12th century, Cahokia's population might have been more than double the size of London's. Let that sink in. In fact, no city in what would become the US got bigger than Cahokia until Philadelphia in the 1780s. So America's first great city? It wasn't Boston or New York, it was right here along the Mississippi River. And here's the wild part. This city didn't just, grow slowly over hundreds of years. Nope. Its appearance was so sudden, so explosive, that archaeologists actually call it the Big Bang. It was a complete and dramatic transformation of the area, and it happened fast. I mean, the speed is just staggering. You've got centuries of just small villages dotting the landscape. Then boom, around 1050, something clicks. The population just explodes. Building goes into overdrive, and in only a few decades, a full-blown city emerges. But, and this is key, its fall was almost as fast as its rise. And the building itself? Wow. We're talking about an estimated 55 million cubic feet of earth, all moved by hand, by people carrying it in woven baskets. Just think about that for a second. There were no horses, no oxen, no wheels. This was a monumental achievement of pure human engineering and labor. And make no mistake, this wasn't just some random collection of huts and dirt piles. Cahokia was a planned city, a carefully designed urban space. It had this central core with huge public plazas, wide avenues, and more than 120 mounds. And it seems like it was all laid out with a kind of cosmic, astronomical plan in mind. So what was it actually like to live there, at the center of this huge, powerful world? Well, Cahokia was the heart of what we now call the Mississippian culture. Think of it as this vast network of communities all connected by the rivers, by trade, and by a shared set of beliefs. Okay, location, right? Cahokia was perfectly placed right near where the Mississippi, Missouri, and Illinois rivers all come together. I mean, that's prime real estate. It made the city the absolute hub of a massive trade network. You had copper coming down from the Great Lakes, rare shells, and even shark teeth coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. It all passed through Cahokia. But life in Cahokia wasn't all trade and city planning. It had a much darker, much more intense side. The city's elite, the rulers, they kept their power through these huge, very public rituals. And the archaeology has uncovered a pretty shocking truth. Sometimes, these rituals involved large-scale human sacrifice. Yeah, the excavation of just one mound, Mound 72, revealed something absolutely astonishing. They found the body of a leader, a very important person, lying on this incredible blanket made of 20,000 shell beads, all arranged to look like a falcon. But he wasn't alone. Not at all. He was surrounded by mass graves. We're talking dozens of young women, men who had been beheaded, all clearly sacrificed as part of his burial. It's a really grim window into a society with a super rigid hierarchy and a stark reminder of the ultimate price of power. Which, brings us right back to that central mystery. How does a city this powerful, this organized, just vanish? By 1350, it's a total ghost town. So let's play detective. Let's look at the evidence and line up the suspects for its collapse. Right off the bat, I'll tell you there's no one single bad guy here. Instead, what archaeologists have is a whole list of suspects, a bunch of interconnected theories that probably all played a part. We're looking at everything from climate change and environmental disaster to social unrest and warfare. And for every one of these suspects, there's some pretty compelling evidence. We've got sediment cores from the rivers that show proof of massive floods. We know they built and then rebuilt this huge defensive wall around the city, which tells you they were afraid of something. The skeletons themselves show signs of disease and malnutrition from a diet that was way too heavy on corn. And, the city was a real melting pot of different peoples, which might have actually led to social tensions. So in the end, there's no smoking gun. It really looks like it was a perfect storm of environmental problems and social stress tearing the city apart. And the end, when it came fast. Just 100 years after its peak, the population was slashed in half. And by 1350, it was empty. Gone. People just walked away. They left the great mounds and the huge plazas to be swallowed up by the prairie grass. But here's the thing. Even though the city itself vanished, its story, its influence, that didn't just disappear. You can still find the echoes of Cahokia today. Today, for a lot of descendant communities, like the Osage Nation, Cahokia is a deeply sacred and important part of their heritage. It's a powerful symbol of their history, their ancestors' achievements, and that connection is something you can see beautifully captured in modern art, like this amazing piece by Jean Quick-to-See Smith. And I love this quote because it really captures the journey this place has been on. It went from being just a local curiosity, a place where folks would go for a Sunday drive, to being recognized for what it is, a protected UNESCO World Heritage Site. And that's so important because it means its incredible story can be saved and shared for generations to come. When you boil it all down, the story of Cahokia is this really powerful lesson about how nothing lasts forever. It's a reminder that even the biggest, most complex societies can hit a perfect storm of challenges, environmental, social, you name it, that can cause them to fall apart. And that leaves us with a really big question, right? What can this amazing, forgotten city teach us about the challenges and vulnerabilities we face in our own world today?